Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Now, it's been some time since my last video. It's only been one day actually, so who cares? But yeah, now of course at this rate we're going to be talking about two things today. Now, so let's get into it. Now, of course, as of now, we are still waiting for the Gyökeres. Here we go. Now, of course, apparently his agents, it's been reported that his agents are in London and they're just finalizing the deal. But my God, this has felt like probably some of the most longed out, dragged out transfer sagas I can remember. This transfer, 1 minute looks like it's about to be complete, 1 minute then it looks like it's about to be on the brink of collapsing. It's just been so much back and forth, and I'm just hoping and I'm just waiting tomorrow we get the here we go and the transfer comes to an end. But honestly, this has probably been one of the most dragged out transfers. At one point I even thought to myself that we were not even going to get this guy just because of how many back and forths there were. So I was even doubtful myself. But of course, finally the bid has been agreed. Even now today we're hearing that the add-ons was a dispute, but apparently now the add-ons are more achievable. Wherever it is, I'm just sick and tired of it. I just want this to be done, wrapped. I just want Gyökeres in an Arsenal shirt. But talking about strikers and talking about the striking market, there has been huge significant development at Liverpool. Now Liverpool this season, this summer window, I don't even recognize this team. This is a team that is usually cheap. Similar to us, they are not a fan of their owners. But this season, this summer, you have to give it to them. These lot have been investing and the investment isn't stopping. Liverpool look like they're favourites for Isaac. Apparently, they're going to approach Newcastle with another transfer record bid. If they're not happy with Isaac, if Isaac is not available, they're going to go and move to Newcastle's target. Apparently, they're about to make a bid on Ekatike, a 80, wherever. They've come to Liverpool, Newcastle, and they said either you give us Isaac or we are taking your number one target. These lot have just been aggressive in the transfer market, and Ekatike is one of those strikers in the market where he's been the third option, right? You got the Gyökeres, you got the Sesko, and you got Ekatike. Now those are the three strikers in the market that are available for you to sign. Of course, we went with Gyökeres. Ekatike, I believe, was on the short list, but I think the also believe that the value was too much. I mean, if they're trying to haggle with Gyökeres' add-on, Ekatike was going to be way more than Gyökeres, and clearly that deal was not going to be done. So I think Arsenal and the price for Ekatike just ruled Arsenal out the move. But Liverpool are moving crazy, and we have to talk about Liverpool because of the fact it's going to link to the next topic. The reason why I'm talking about Liverpool is the fact that Liverpool have set the standard. They have set the standard on what you need to win the Premier League. Last season, they were miles, like head and shoulders above everyone else. And I know a lot of fans are talking about how they were losing a few games or not winning games at the end. The reason is because they wrapped up the league, let's be honest, by January. By January, we knew Liverpool were going to win the league, and they had no motivation. Why would you have motivation? You won the league in January. And of course, at that point, they didn't even reach Gear 5. They were playing in Gear 3 for the season. They didn't need to really push themselves. And Liverpool have set the standards. And that is the standard we need to match. We need to either get close to it or go past it. That is the only way I am confident for Arsenal to win the league. And the reason why I'm mentioning is because of the fact now Liverpool, the gap is already big, okay? The gap has been big. We've narrowed it down a bit with the signing of Gyökeres and Zubimendi. But if Liverpool now go sign Ekatike, or they sign a Rodrigo, they sign someone or an Isaac even, that gap is only going to get bigger. And Arsenal, what do we have? We need to close that gap. That's why we need more signings. I personally believe if Arsenal do not sign a left winger, a top left winger, in addition to Eze, Arsenal don't have a chance to win the league. And I know a lot of you guys are going to go crazy and everything, say I'm being reactive and everything, but I believe that if Arsenal don't sign a left winger, we are not going to win the league. Arsenal's wing option, you got Saka, okay, then you got Madueke, then you got Martinez, you got Trossard. That is 4 wing options. Out of those 4, there is only one consistent one, and that is Saka. We've watched Martinelli, we've watched Trossard, we know what Madueke is. I know a lot of fans are going to get behind Madueke, and you're right, get behind him. But let's be honest, we know what these players are. We know they are inconsistent. They are not going to give you the type of numbers, or they're just not going to be able to drag you across the line. Martinelli and Trossard, unfortunately, we have seen them throughout the years. We've seen them for the last 2 seasons. Martinelli has not developed in the last 2 years. And so that's why for me, a left winger is a priority. Like, we need a left winger, a top established left winger, a left winger that can replicate what Saka is doing on the right but on the left. That's why for me, and with Liverpool now spending even more, Arsenal's priority and urgency and attention to a left winger only gets higher. Because for me, we needed a left winger regardless of who Liverpool, Man City, and we needed one. And now because of our rivals strengthening, it only highlights the urgency in the left winger. Now, in terms of the left wingers, we've heard David Ornstein, we've heard the reports, Rodrigo, we had Gordon, we've had Leah, and I believe if any were to come, and they've all said the same thing, that apparently we need to sell to buy one, which I don't understand. I simply don't understand why we are always in a position where we have to sell to buy. We spent some money this season, and apparently now we have to balance the book. I don't understand why Arsenal are always the club to be playing by the financial rules. We always have to be so thinking. These clubs, so many clubs break the financial rules. You don't see them get punished. How often? Look how many rules Man City have broken. Chelsea, nothing happens. We are the only team that wants to play by the books. And I know the fines and everything, but I just don't understand Arsenal. Like, we simply need a left winger, regardless on how you want to do it. I don't want to hear by the end of the summer window that the reason why we couldn't sign a left winger is because of the fact that we needed to sell to buy. Like, we need a left winger, and of course we're going to be talking about Eze. Now, Eze, of course, is another link. We're going to be with Eze. We really should start off with Eze actually. Ben Jacobs has said that apparently Arsenal, after finishing off the Gyökeres deal, their attention now goes on to an attacking midfielder, which is of course Eze. Now with Eze, I don't even know if this deal is going to be done, but we need to get it done. So I'm quite confident if it gets done, it's going to be Eze over a left winger. For me, the chances of signing a left winger is almost zero. But Eze is a brilliant signing. Now, the thing with Eze is there's a release clause with him. But knowing Arsenal, the reports are really clear that Arsenal are not trying to pay Crystal Palace the release clause. They're trying to negotiate lower. And of course, that's only going to lead to one thing: prolonged stallment. We all know that Crystal Palace are not going to accept it. Arsenal are not going to pay the release clause. And what's going to happen? You're going to have two clubs here battling out, and it's going to be a dragged out transfer. And at the end of it, there's a chance we may sign him last minute, or we probably won't even sign him. So that's why for me, this deal is so key. We need to sign Eze because I've mentioned it. Arsenal lack X factors, and Eze is a perfect player for that. He is a player that he's a maverick. He's a type of player that Arsenal have been lacking. A player that, think about it, if you have Eze, you can start replacing Odegaard. When Odegaard's not playing well, you have Eze. And he can even play on the left wing. I'm not too fan of him playing left wing because I feel that he's more suited to play on the inside, more in the free roaming around. But I understand if we do sign him in the left wing. But for me, regardless of signing Eze, we still need a left winger. So I guess we're going to just have to wait and see what happens with Eze. But we're also hearing reports that we have to now start selling before we buy these players. So it looks like in the few days, Trossard, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Kivio, Sambi Lokanga, sorry, don't know how you even pronounce his name. I have the three. So not after A or wherever. I'm open to selling Trossard. I'm open to selling Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, and Sambi. I would actually keep Kivio. The reason why I would keep Kivio is because he's a good backup. I don't understand why we should get rid of Kivio. We're going to get rid of a defender. Maybe some of you guys are not a fan of Kivio, which is fine. But Kivio is not a player that gets injured. He's always available. When he comes in, he performs well. So for me, I really don't think we should be selling Kivio. I think we should keep him. And I think it'll be we've seen last season, injuries can happen at any time. So for me, I'm keeping Kivio, but I'll sell the rest. But even with Trossard and the attacking, we've been hearing that one of the left wingers need to be sold. Who's going to buy these guys? Who's going to buy them? Trossard, we're hearing contract negotiations. Fenerbahce, nothing's happening with him. Saudi, Martinelli, nothing's happening. So who are going to buy? Who's going to buy our players? So I don't know, but we have to sell someone, and that's the way. Because for me, like I said, if you don't sign the left winger, you don't sign Eze, be very disappointing. Because to be honest, as of now, the only two players that actually help our starting 11 is Gyökeres and Zubimendi. And unfortunately, with Liverpool, with the gap already being big by the summer window even starting, Liverpool are only about to increase that gap, and we have to do more. We have to close the gap. That's the only way we'll compete. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think I'm being reactionary, or do you maybe share my views? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.